I just finished Ahsoka Episode 4 Fallen Jedi, and I can without a doubt say that this is one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars that we've gotten in years. If you have not seen the episode, I implore you guys to go check it out before watching this video, as there will be minor spoilers laced within. As I sat down to do a lot of the breakdowns and lore explanations, I really felt the need to reiterate just how great I thought this episode truly was. One of the major issues I was having with Star Wars over the last little while is how safe they played and how familiar everything felt. Going back and exploring the same places over and over again with the same characters and similar events. But now though, Star Wars has done something that Legends did. It's getting extremely strange and weird, but in the best way possible. We're exploring different aspects of the Force with the Night Sisters and Morgan Elsbeth. We're exploring brand new galaxies with Grand Admiral Thrawn. And now with episode 4 of Ahsoka, we get to explore more of the Force itself, how the Force operates, and how it connects Master and apprentices, Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker. The acting in the episode is also superb, with characters being taken in directions that I did not anticipate at all. The acting by Ray Stevenson is especially good, as in his scenes you really get a sense of the vitriol and hatred that he shares for Anakin and Ahsoka alike. This is an aspect of Star Wars lore that isn't often explored. What are the Jedi thinking that were with the Council's side and believe that Anakin Skywalker should not have been trained? In Baylan's eyes, and in the eyes of a lot of the Jedi, Anakin was dangerous, and when he embraced the path of Darth Vader, their suspicions were ultimately proven correct. Individuals like Mace Windu, who didn't trust Anakin, were correct in the end by judging him. And although the Jedi Council themselves played a major role in Anakin embracing the dark side of the Force, you can definitely see how a fallen Jedi of Baylan's stature would feel this way towards Anakin, a sentiment that hasn't yet been explored in Star Wars canon. Baylan, it of course makes sense, would hate Anakin and Ahsoka. He would view them as bringers of death and destruction. She was trained by one of the most evil and powerful Sith Lords that has ever existed, and in Baylan's mind, she will follow in the footsteps of her master to destroy everything in her wake. Baylan understands that the universe itself needs to be destroyed in order to be remade better. And Ahsoka is one of the individuals standing in the way from stopping a brand new, greater galaxy being born. Now of course Baylan is incorrect and is misguided here, but this is a dark side wielder who absolutely hated the Sith, a concept that's explored many times in Star Wars Legends with Dark Jedi, but I'm glad now finally has a canon appearance. The entirety of the Ahsoka show revolves around the dynamic between a master and an apprentice, and it all stems from the original relationship between Ahsoka and Anakin. Ahsoka feels responsible for Anakin Skywalker's fall, and even more than this, characters like Baylan also hold her accountable and responsible to some form. They agreed with the Jedi Council and believed that Qui-Gon Jinn was a fool, that Obi-Wan Kenobi was likely a fool for training Anakin, and this entire plot that ultimately destroyed the Jedi could have been avoided. This goes into Sabine. We learned that Ahsoka may have had something to do with the Night of 1,000 Tears and the destruction of Sabine's family on Mandalore. Baylan reaches to Ahsoka, saying that Ezra is the last of her family, and that he also holds Ahsoka Tano responsible for what the Empire did. What Ahsoka could have done to prevent this is currently unknown. But again, the layers of Baylan and Shin go even deeper. It's clear that Baylan has a deep respect and a love for his apprentice in Shin. He cares for her well-being, and he does not allow Shin to kill Sabine because of his word. Just like the Jedi, and the Jedi that he used to be, Baylan is bound by honor. He believes it's one of the most important principles, and he sees the individuals such as Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker as people that disobeyed their honor, betraying the honor of the wider order at first that put their trust in them. When we were first introduced to Baylan Skoll, we all thought that he held a soft spot in his heart for Anakin, when in reality, he holds him responsible for the state of the galaxy. Baylan even calls Thrawn evil, but a necessary evil. He knows that Thrawn will bring war and destruction, but with destruction, Baylan believes that a better future can be born. A future, though, that holds no place for Ahsoka Tano. This relationship and how it transforms between Ahsoka and Anakin will likely be explored in the following weeks, as Hayden Christensen as Anakin plays a major role. The entire plot of the series is about the failures of our masters, and how the apprentices are impacted by these failures. Out of all of the characters in the mix, Baylan seems to be the one that ultimately cared the most for his student, at least at this point in time. Anakin Skywalker embraced the dark side of the Force, leaving behind his master in Obi-Wan Kenobi, but also abandons his friend and his student in the form of Ahsoka Tano for a path of power, and a dark path altogether. Ahsoka abandoned Sabine, and her home and family died because of it. The decisions of the Master are echoed through their own Padawans. This is all developing without ever entering Grand Admiral Thrawn and his own view on a brand new republic in a new galaxy. The Force itself is also changing along with the Ahsoka series, as the world between worlds appears to be sort of a gateway and an interconnection between the living Force and the cosmic Force. Before, it was described as a doorway and a realm between time and space, but now we understand that it holds a deep intrinsic relationship with those that wield the Force in the physical realm. As when Anakin Skywalker appears in the finale, he is not a Force ghost, but he appears as a physical being. For the longest time, the very lore of the Force itself has not been explored, and now we're literally open to a brand new gateway in a brand new world in which to explore and explain it. All of this before we even enter a new galaxy. What makes Ahsoka a great series, and this episode in particular so far so extremely good, is it's willing to take risks. I love that it is willing to take risks with the lore. Risks being thought out and thought through, but risks nonetheless. The risks of introducing us to a galaxy far, far away that again feels alien and strange, but in the best way possible. Concepts, mystical creatures, realms in the Force that we do not understand, entirely new galaxies, all held with a certain love and appreciation for what came before it. Paving brand new roads while honoring the past, characters such as Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One himself, his very presence echoing through time and space. The consequences impacted on the individuals in the galaxy that abandoned the Jedi way because Anakin himself turned to the dark side, and those that despite Anakin Skywalker's fall, held true to the light and want to rebuild. Ahsoka is building up the villains as something truly special. Villains that have a point, which are the best villains in film and cinema overall. We can understand why Baylan and Shin would be against the New Republic and would not trust Ahsoka Tano or Anakin whatsoever. We can potentially even agree with Grand Admiral Thrawn, who in Legends continuity governed a very successful society. The villains in Ahsoka and where we are going makes sense, and I think that we are truly in store for something very special. Overall, I would give this episode of Ahsoka a 10 out of 10. It is one of the most fulfilling and satisfying moments in all of Star Wars lore for me, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this sort of reaction video, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to do one every single week. As always, my friends, thank you so much for visiting the channel, and may the Force be with you.